So today is Sunday morning, 8 a.m., January 12th. January 12th, 8 a.m. Sunday morning, usually, if it was a few months ago, 8 a.m., I'd still be sleeping. So kudos to me. I'm getting better with getting up early in the morning, and sometime depending on what's going on in the mornings, I wake up at like 6 or something, and then I listen to prayer videos and things like that, motivational videos, things like that, for an hour or so, and then I get up. I got up at 7 something today, so which is an accomplishment because in our lives we have big difficulties and we have little difficulties, because for me it's very important that I start getting up early, not because I have never been an early bird in my life, but that is one thing I'm trying to change. Not to I don't know how to explain it the best. It's more, I would say, more like when you break a habit that has been there for almost all your life, and you can break it in your midlife, it gives you the same strength overflows in other areas. And I learned that from doing these daily videos, actually, because it's the consistency, right? Consistency in one area of good habit formation spills over in other areas, because we can go and learn from different seminars and trainings and whatnot, but ultimately the action that we take, not one time, not twice, not 3 times, on a consistent basis, to see a really big change. First, you have to stick with it 1 month. You'll see a little bit of changes in your thinking pattern. Give it 3 months, you will see some significant changes. Give it 6 months, and you do it, you like it or not, you do it every single day. I have heard about it a lot in the past, but excuse me, but through this process, what I learned, I would not have learned from any training, any books, or anything. So whatever that habit that you're trying to form, stick with it for 6 months and you'll be amazed. And no matter what stage of life you are in, it doesn't have to be midlife, but in midlife we think that, what are the saying that said that you can't teach an old dog a new trick or something if you're not from here. This is a saying that is widely used in the United States. Dog doesn't mean dog. In this case, it's used for human, but it's like a funny way of saying you can't teach old dog a new trick, because we are such creatures of habit that we continue doing what we continue doing all the time. But it's possible with a little bit of willpower, a little bit of push from your surroundings, either from your friends or family or whoever that is. But ultimately, it's we ourselves have to have that wish to be able to do that. So today I am drinking from a cup. There's nothing written, and you guys know that usually I use the cups that has something in it. So today I picked this cup on purpose, because I wanted to talk about this, empty canvas. Empty canvas, what I mean by that is that our day, every month, or a year is an empty canvas. And it's up to us how we paint it, right? Normally, when we don't paint it intentionally, there's lots of negativity gets scripted in there. But if we are intentional right? We can, excuse me, so I have this little allergy kind of thing sometimes in the morning. It happens. Hopefully, it won't continue. um, so you can put, enjoy the little things, right? So for me right now, as I drink the coffee, I'm feeling it, tasting it, and I'm talking to you all, and I almost feel the presence of the people who come here regularly. Thanks to you guys. I almost feel like I know a little bit about you from the comments that you put in there. Of course, I personally don't know almost all of you, but we have this connection, right? So the human connection. I was listening to something, it says like how our body craves food, our soul craves the connection with human. And as you know, I keep talking about I'm blessed. I feel very blessed that I have several different friends who are very nice, very caring. Um, but we can never have enough good friends, right? Because it's always a good feeling to have that human connection with genuine connection. I'm not talking about those Facebook 500 friends. I'm not talking about that. Speaking of that, I gotta create a new Facebook account because my old Facebook I deactivated almost a year ago now. I can't believe that. It was last March. It's still there, but I don't plan to go there. I want to create a new one relating to this midlife mindfulness because life has changed a lot in a good way. It's a renewal, rebirth, whatever you want to call it as, it's reset. And this is the life I want to live. This is the life I feel good about living. And it is amazing how life can change over time. And when we look at life with more, during Christmas, I remember that I kind of related each day as like a Christmas present wrapped under the tree, right? It's a metaphor that I used. And we can have real that excitement for every single day. We have planned things and there's unplanned things that come up, and sometimes we really enjoy some things and sometimes we don't. And that's how Christmas presents are, right? You don't always, if you remember in your childhood, if you're here in this country, I was not, but I know the concept because my daughter has been doing this for a while now. She's going to be 9 years old next month. Sometime you open the box, wrapped box, and you open all the wrapper and open the box. You love the present, and sometimes you don't, right? So our days are just like that. Some days will be great, some days won't be. But even the days which are not great, you can always find something that you can be grateful for. It's either the blue sky, the trees, the clean air that we can breathe, the fresh water, roof over our head, the clothes that we can wear, a cup of coffee. Many people in the world don't have that, and it's not as easily accessible. My life has changed drastically from my childhood. I grew up in a very small town in India. My family still lives there. Everybody. I came here 20 years ago, and I decided to stay back, and I did. I switched job and all that, like, the green card, citizenship, whatnot. I had to do that. And I love being here. There's nothing, I don't regret any part of it. I miss my mom, but in life, you gotta pick and choose. You can't have everything, right? So, and my daughter, she fills my life. Speaking of that, last night she and I we did a movie night at home. So when I say movie night, this is the TV where we watch the movie, and the bed is over there. So she and I, we watched the movie. It's called Thelma the Unicorn. She's big into unicorn, and last night, so it was kind of cold, so I was wearing the robe, and then we had the blankets, and she has a unicorn onesie. Normally she doesn't wear onesie, but it's because she's actually pretty tall for her age. So she has a unicorn onesie. She wears that in winter sometime to go to sleep. So she was wearing that, so that was cozy for her. And we had some snack, popcorn and other snacks. So we watched the movie, had those snacks, and it was good. And it reminded us of she and I went for some small trips last year, a couple of them, three of them, not too far, just a couple hours from here. And sometime when you're there, we would do that, like sit together and watch a TV show or a movie. Of course, all it has to be the kids stuff because that's what she likes. And it reminded us of that. And that is a pure joy. That's a pure joy. You just, for a little bit, you escape from the reality and you're just there. And more than we ourselves in their mind, you never know the memory that gets created with that. Because I remember when I was 5 years old, my dad and we played, here they call it shoots, snakes and ladders, or also in the US, I think I think that's what it's called here too, snakes and ladders. And Alice and I played sometimes. A couple days ago, we did play that, and my dad and I were playing. And in my situation, my dad died when I was 6, so there's very few memories I have of him. And he had a natural death. He had stroke, and then he died. So I have very few memories of him, and less than 10, because a lot of those memories, they somehow they go away from our mind. Maybe someday AI will come with something that we can go to those parts of the brain that we can remember things when we're 3 years old. Anyway, so under less than 10 memories I have, and of those I have a couple of this type of memories when I was playing with him. So the snakes and ladders, I was playing with him, and I still remember that so clearly. Isn't that crazy? I was 5 and now I'm 40 something. Because those good memories, they go so deep in our subconscious mind. And I was so grateful that, because my dad was a very busy man with his work, because he was the only person who was working. And at the time, including him, we were like 8 of us. So my dad, my mom, and we were 6 of us, and I was the youngest kid. So 8 people depending on one job, and then on top of that, my dad had a lot of he was very inclined to God, and going to the temples and all of that. So he was barely home. Um, and he was also a very helpful person. So he would go help others, whereas my mom had to take care of everything in the house. But it is what it is. Um, so yeah, the memories that they create. I felt grateful that my dad was so busy and I was the sixth kid, but he took the time to play with me. It meant so much. It meant a lot to me. It meant a lot. I don't know what kind of memory my daughter Alice would remember from her childhood, but I hope some of the good ones includes me. I'm getting emotional, probably more thinking about my dad. It's funny how that can affect people. I had a loving family, so I never really completely missed my dad that he wasn't there. I mean, I won't say never missed, but I did miss from the point of view. I remember when I was growing up, I would think like, oh, this person, they have their dad, and I don't like my friends and stuff. It was okay, because my family was very supportive, but until some event that occurred in I'd say about 7, 8 years ago. Excuse me. Until then, I didn't realize the impact, and that was the first time I understood the impact of it. And then I found myself back. I wouldn't say found myself back. That's probably not the right way. Maybe there's some parts of me that was, I don't know, broken, was healed, and I think the remainder was healed in the last year. Because there was a time period then I felt this. It was 2018. That time it was short. It was a very short period that I felt this amazing, unstoppable energy, the fearless side of me, and that I feel now again. And it's this time, it's much longer period of time, and it's we can never say that okay we are fully healed because the wounds happen and then we just have to figure out how to navigate things, but it's more. Last week in one of the videos I was talking about we are always in this fearful zone and fearless zone, and we kind of toggle between this two, and sometimes it's not fully the subconscious, the fearful and the fearless, it's not fully in both this one or the other. Sometimes we toggle in between, like we just keep going back and forth, and when we are in high frequency zone, when we are happy and we are contentment, we feel the contentment or peace inside, we are more in this fearless, you can call it fearless zone, freedom, faith, if you believe in God, universe, faith, and the other is always there, so you have to in some way kind of work towards it, and it should not feel like swimming against the current though, and the easiest analogy to that is that you don't have to think so technically that swimming against the current or swimming with the current, it's as simple as that. What I'm doing right now, is it feeling good or is it feeling bad? If you are feeling bad with what you're doing, that means you are in that, you are closer to that fearful zone. And when you're doing something, whatever you're doing, you are feeling just like it's natural. And that is the fearless zone. That is the zone of faith. You're closer to faith, right? It's natural. It's not pushing or pulling. It's just so natural. Like this video when I make, I just feel it's so natural. I don't know almost all of you, but even though, because I'm in that natural flow, and thank God, I'm in that natural flow for a long time, and it did not start from when I started the videos, and these videos are very raw. I don't edit anything. You have seen even when I sneeze, I don't edit it. It's just raw videos. That was my intention. That I'm gonna, as I'm going through this journey, because so you guys have seen, if you have seen my earlier videos, I started May 27, 2024, especially during the summer. Last summer, you have seen some of the darkest side where I was going through, but before that I went through even harder times. So we grow. It does not, every day is not going to be our best days, but it's just our mind is so much stronger than we think it is. Anything that happens in our life, anything, we are capable of overcoming it. May not be just by ourselves, maybe with the support from our friends, or family, or surroundings, or God, a church. Speaking of that, I'll be attending church online soon. So, the strength can come from wherever, but if you look for it, you're gonna find it. You gotta be looking for it, though. That's the key. Like they say sometimes, the opportunity might be knocking on your door, but if you don't open the door, the opportunity is not gonna stay there. You can use any kind of metaphor for that. That's of course a metaphor. Tony Robbins does an amazing exercise with that. So his exercise is, okay, if you're in a room, look for all the red, any object with red. So you look at those, and then he says, okay, close your eyes, and you close your eyes, and you kind of remember where the reds are. And then he tells to open your eyes, and then he says, okay, find all the brown. And then you're like, what? I didn't look for any brown. I was looking for red, right? So you have a hard time finding all the brown. But then you find and you count. Let's say there are 10 brown things you found. And then he says, see, it was little, first thing is it was harder to find. And second is, the first time you did not notice any brown. You did not, because you're looking for red, right? So that's an amazing concept. And I remember that always, because that goes with what we are looking for. We're always going to find. And the concept why he says you're always going to find is also because second time when it says like, okay, what's brown? So to prove ourselves right, not only what is brown, we say, okay, I found another 10 things brown. Maybe there is a 11th thing which is brown, which is not exactly brown, but close to brown, but we are counting that too, because we want to have more brown items. So that's like when we are looking for what we're looking for, we're just going to keep looking to find it. So, know in your heart what you are really looking for, then you'll be able to find it. Universe will move things around, God will move things around, people, places, things will shift, and you're going to find it. Joe Dispenza says that all the things that we think about that comes to our mind exists in the reality. So it's not about you know, it's like point A to point B. It's like everything exists. When we are thinking the things that we will get when we get from point A to point B, it's not that. We tune our channel. It's like a TV channel. And if you are into, I don't know, sports channel and you are playing, I don't know, Hallmark is one of my favorite channel. If you're in Hallmark, no matter how much you try, sports are not gonna come up. So you have to tune it here. So when you're here, it should not feel like effort. It should not feel like chasing. It's just gonna attract, right? You are here who you have become, and the sports channel is gonna just show up. I know I use these random metaphors, but I love metaphors. And sometimes I think they really help connect with um, people in a way that the regular discussion kind of gets lost in the and either in translation or thought process, but the metaphors kind of connect because it is more, I don't know, generic at the same time, very relatable things, right? So everything exists. We just have to align ourselves to what our deepest desire is. First, knowing that deepest desire, our soul, what our soul wants, because we live our best life when our mind, body, and soul are aligned. Right? I talk about this thinking, speaking, and action, right? Thinking, speaking, and action. In some way, if you think of it, thinking is in the brain or mind. If you think that mind is in the brain, nobody knows where the mind is. Let's say, for this analogy, I'll say, okay, mind, the thinking, speaking, we speak through our mouth, and the action, usually through the body, right? To the body. So it's like thinking, speaking, action. So our mind or the soul, wherever, if that exists there inside the mind, body, and soul, when all of these are in alignment, then you won't feel any resistance towards anything that you are doing. Now, some resistance would come from the limiting beliefs. And the limiting beliefs form when we are, it starts to forming when we are a little kid, but it keeps growing unless we take care of it. It's almost like if you have a garden with lots of flowers, and we'll add fruits too, fruit trees. Someday maybe I'll add them. I love gardening. But then there are weeds. Weeds started to grow. And let's say you didn't clear the weeds for months, the weeds are gonna grow and new weeds will come up. And then you would have the flowers and the fruit trees, but there will be so much weeds. The cleaning takes time, and that's where, so if we start the cleaning when only we are in our midlife, it takes much longer than if we started cleaning it a lot earlier, if we kept it clean and trimmed and all that. Now, we don't have to feel bad about it. Life is life, and there is a power in accepting. So on my main page, the description page, I say this is a power statement which I came up with. This just resonates with me, and that's why I have it there, is that I accept this moment just the way it is. I accept this moment just the way it is, with all the things that happen, the good, the bad, and everything in between that shaped me to be who I am today, right? To live a better future was necessary. I accept all of this. I accept every single thing, right? And then it just brings, it's hard to explain, it just brings that amazing energy. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it just brings something that there's no longer, the resistance kind of disappears, right? There's no resistance. There's a power with acceptance. When you accept it, the resistance disappears. And the resistance, when we have any kind of resistance, it just tires us. Um, you can take it not even metaphor, like realistically too. um, at home, at work, politics, right? Resistance can be good, but it does make you tired. So, anyway, coming back to this topic. So, it is as simple as like feeling good or feeling bad. When you are not feeling good, that means you're closer to the fearful zone. When you're feeling good, you're more close to the fearless zone. And this is where the creativity, the happiness, the all of that happens. And more we practice it, more real it becomes. So a few days ago, I went to my Bible study, and I'm going through some stuff that could pull me down, but thankfully, God gave me the strength that now I'm in a state that when things are whatever things I have to work on, I work on. At the same time, I have this unstoppable, fearless state that I can be, and it's I'm not faking it or anything. I can be happy because everything, like you kind of look at it like you are. It's an observer stance. You try to not blame, not criticize, not judge for other people's work. You leave it to God because your faith is so strong. Whichever God or universe, anything that you believe in, you leave it to God that only good can come out of this. Only good can come out of this, because the good or bad are so relative, because we assign the meaning. Nothing is good or bad. It is just a thing, right? We assign the meaning. Something is good or bad based on our upbringing, based on our life experiences, based on the societal norm, right? So when we can get to that state, life becomes like a flow that is so gentle and nice and amazing that you just want to live that. You just, it's a flow that just enjoy, right? So I bring this up because the other day when I went there, so some of the folks, they were so nice, and they were, I have to say that this, our path, the way it bends and shifts and goes this way, goes that way, sometimes it can be so amazing. And these people, I didn't know them like even 3 months ago. And it's amazing how nice they are to me. And I think I'm nice to them too. But amazing people. So when you're in this journey, the life will shift in a way that that'll be hard to believe. Because last year around this time, I could not have imagined in my wildest dream, this is how I would feel like, this is what I'll be talking about. Absolutely not. Life was very painful from many aspects. So just keep going, believe in yourself, believe in God, and sometimes believing in ourselves could be hard. So it can start from believing in God. More we believe in God, more we will believe in ourselves. That's what the beginning is. If you can connect with God, if you connect with universe, if you connect with whoever, because different religion has different things. Just start believing something that is bigger than yourself. And that can grow to a point, and consistently, you gotta remind yourself consistently. For me, these videos were a way for me to remind myself to live in the present moment, to be more mindful of what I was doing, and the growth that comes from the consistency can take you to a place that I can guarantee that you cannot learn from any training, any coaching, anywhere. Because in one video I talked about this, like, we ourselves can be the best mentor or a coach for ourselves. At the same time, we can be our harshest critic. The reason is everybody has two sides. The conscious mind and subconscious mind work very differently within ourselves, and it is constantly there 24/7. So imagine if you're spending time with a person 24/7, and if that person was always positive and uplifting, how would you feel after 6 months? And now let's go to the other side. If you have a friend who is very negative and you spend 24/7 with them, after 6 months, how do you feel? Which version would you like? 6 months with the positive friend, 6 months with the negative friend, and then you become a new you. I think you know the answer. And that is what the difference is within ourselves, because we ourselves, we have to keep doing it. And it comes from, there are many rules, many things, but if you continue to do something, even 1 minute of practice every single day, 6 months can give you such a significant result. I can't even explain it in words, because it can only be felt. It is so intangible feeling, because like it goes to that faith and fear. Both are intangible, but when you are in that zone, no matter what happens externally, no matter how things are, you will be in that zone that you will be unstoppable, and people would want to be around you because they will be amazed. They'll be amazed with the progress you have made. No matter what goes on in your life, there is always a light that shines bright in you and around you. You know, that just happens. Nobody can dim your light. Because this morning I randomly saw a post, and it said, because when people learn how to, you know, shine bright in their darkest moment, nobody can dim their light. Nobody can dim their light, because you have learned how to shine bright. Not by yourself, just you had help from people around you, God's help, and of course God helping through the people, but you learned how to do that in your darkest moment. So whatever else happens after that doesn't matter. Your light always shine bright, and then you can guide others. You know, we each of us, we don't know what our callings are. For me, after going through this, I do feel that this is my calling. This is my way of giving back to the people, because I have, as I went through this process, I have seen so many people they are suffering. There's so much pain in so many people's mind, and there is a way out of that. There's a way out of that. And the one single thing doesn't work for all. It's just different, because we all kind of goes back to that 8 billion people who have 8 billion unique journeys. So we look at things differently, right? We look at the same thing very differently, which I keep talking about in a lot of videos. So you really have to connect with them, and sometime a random person on the street will tell you something that you'd feel that really connected. And how we know, because then your life shifts after that from little things. So you might connect with that person, random person you have never met on the street. You might connect with that person more than somebody who is like, I don't know, super experienced. You go to a training or something, because it's all about how our life has shifted with many things, and it's just connecting, right? So each person connects and shift their life in a different ways, and sometimes it's not just one instance, it's just one instance after another, and that builds us who we are. But the key is to keep going and believe, keep going and believe that there is a light. There is a light. You can, even if you have that light right now, you can make it so bright that nobody can dim your light, no matter what goes on around, no matter what happens with the politics or religion or home or work. No matter what happens, you can have that light so bright. And what would happen is you would attract the right people in your life, and some will fade away. Some will fade away because they won't be able to stick around with the brightness of the light, because the frequencies are just too different. The frequencies are just too different, and then it just doesn't match. It's almost like a chemistry, how some I used to be so good at chemistry in like high school, and I loved it. I still remember some of those, organic chemistry and others. Anyway, I just got carried away for a little bit when I said chemistry. But certain particle doesn't go with certain particle, and it's not called particle. I forgot whatever it is called. Anyway, elements. I think some elements doesn't go with another element, and it just creates friction in chemistry. And it's same with human beings, because if you are so much in that faith zone and the other person is so fearful, more you try to come close together, and there will be like repulsion, because and those are the people may fade away, and that's okay, because you have to make space for the new. So as the old fades away, the new will come. You just have to believe. And then, because it has to feel natural. That's the key. It has to feel natural. It should not, nothing should feel push or pull. Things should feel natural. Okay, so with that, I'm going to finish the video. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the weekend. Today's Sunday. I'll make another video tomorrow. I don't know about the shorts yet. I'll see later in the day. I may, but I'll try to. I don't know. I might try to get in the schedule a little bit, where as I do the daily video, apart from that, I'm thinking to add a couple of more shorts every day, later in the day or something. I have so much to share, but and I love that folks find something to take from those, and so I just want to make a difference, because sometimes I know that I would look at a video, I won't comment or give a thumbs up, but I know that it has changed my life in a better way, like a little bit better. So so it's not always. A friend also once said, like, don't just go by the stats on your channel, but because there are so many other ways that the ripple effect of positivity continues. So now keep making those positive changes. Anyway, enjoy your day, enjoy the little moments, and remember the day, the month, and the year. This 2025 is a blank canvas. Paint it with the things that you really want to. What is your deepest desires? What are your dreams? Especially if in your midlife, you know that life is not forever. So whatever you couldn't get a chance to do in earlier your life, this is the time. This is the time. You still have enough time to do all those things. Renew yourself, create a new version of yourself that you fall in love with, right? Okay, with that, bye. Take care.